because the others are illegals or they're illegally here, we must send them out. So they insisted the Ghanaians must leave. What a sight it was back in those years. They had to go. Did things change? No. They were definitely not enough to have caused a dent in the economy. But they were the scapegoat. They were sent away. In pain, they had been here for several years. And they were to leave suddenly. So the Nigerians believed they had justification to send them out. Go back to your country. And when such things happen, you can't distinguish in the street between the one who is legally there and the one who is not legally there. It's the government functionaries that have the authority to decide who's legal and who's not legal. It's not the guy in the street who's supposed to ask you, where are you from? And you say, well, I'm from such and such a place. Okay, so are you here legally? He doesn't even have the wherewithal to make such decisions. It cannot be left to everyone who is angry. The government already has structures to deal with illegal immigration. So leave that to the government. Now, if you say the government is not doing it, protest to the government. Protest to the government, then the government will listen to you. Protest to the government. You don't go after those. That's taking the law into your hands. Now, you accuse them of breaking the law by coming in illegally, and you attack them by breaking the law. You cannot take the law into your hands and go after them and tell them they must leave. You don't have the authority to do that. That's also illegal. It's as illegal as their illegal immigration. Here is where you get into real trouble. Imagine that they resist in self-defense. One little spark of a problem can lead to terrible devastation. And that's why I warn you. If you're not happy with the immigrants in the country, protest to the government. They allow protests. So you can go in the street to the government and let them hear you, and they will take actions. There are legal ways of dealing with such things. It's not appropriate for you, when you are not the law enforcement agent, it's not appropriate for you to give an ultimatum to the immigrants in your country and say, on such and such a date, you must leave. It's not okay. You're not authorized to do that. You don't have the right to do it. You are just as illegal in such an action as they are illegal in coming into your country without the right documentation. And that is assuming that you're only upset with those who came in illegally. The trouble doesn't stop there. When we say xenophobia, maybe you need to understand what it really is. It comes from two words, two Greek words, xenos and phobos. Xenos refers to a stranger or a foreigner. And then, of course, phobos, fear. The fear that you would fail because the strangers in your country taking over the economy. The fear that because of them, things are not going to go well with you. The fear that they're harmful. The fear that their crimes are worse than your crimes. And that fear doesn't make you run away from them. That fear makes you attack them. I want you to understand. It makes you attack them. That's why you can be accused of xenophobia. Some even say it's Afrophobia because they think it's only Africans that it's directed to. But it's the same. It's the same. You're walking a dangerous path. I'd like to remind you that the case with Ghana was a very easy one because it's not too long ago. But it was bad. Now imagine if that goes on throughout Africa. But it can get worse and lead to genocide. Ask yourself what happened to Rwanda in the early 1990s. These were people that lived together. They're of the same culture, the Tutsis and the Hutus. Same culture, same people. These were not two ethnic groups. They're the same ethnic group. And of course, their colonial masters helped them to create some differences between them by telling them that the cattle headers were different from the farmers. Okay, so the Hutus were farmers. The Tutsis were rearing cattle, and you got more money from the cattle than you did from farming. The Hutus were more, the Tutsis were lesser in numbers. And so the colonial masters favored the Tutsis and gave the impression that they were superior to the others, eventually giving them ID cards. Further solidifying a difference between them, which they wanted, because you must understand that the colonial masters had a divide and rule method of government. These were the Germans and the Belgians. And then after, they projected the Tutsis. But after the independence, the Hutus took over power and marginalized further the Tutsis. They were the same people. They went to the same schools, lived among themselves, worshipped in the same churches. intermarried. In fact, it was said that you could be a Tutsi and later become a Hutu if your economic conditions changed. If you moved from going with cattle, okay, doing cattle business, and you became a farmer, you became a Hutu. And if circumstances changed in your favor and you got more cattle and became wealthy, you became a Tutsi. That's how close they were. But the day came when their Hutu president was killed in a plane crash along with the Burundian president. And the Hutus blamed the Tutsis for it and immediately isolated them. And they started hunting them down. Everywhere they found a Tutsi, he had to die. And if you were Hutu and you supported, or rather you supported the Tutsi, or you were against the genocide, you were killed as well. And before long, more than 800,000 people have been killed. That's a large number. It spiraled down very quickly. The genocide. It wasn't planned from the beginning. They had disagreements before. Yugoslavia, the largest country in the world, split into 7 different countries. They remember the Bosnian Wars. The genocide of Sarajevo, Srebrenica. Dark history. Dark history. It happens very easily. That's why I'm warning you. It happens very easily. So those who are telling you on the 30th of June, we're going out and we're going to harass or stop or drive out all undocumented immigrants. They don't have the power to do it. It's illegal. Leave that job for the police. Leave it for the government. And I said, if you think the government is not doing enough, protest to the government. Go to the government. Protest to the government. Don't take the laws into your hands. Every God-fearing person should refuse to follow those foolish instructions. Don't go with them. I tell you, it's improper. A mob cannot create peace. You have a government. Let the government do its job. It's easy to say, if the government is not doing it, we're going to help the government. How are you going to help the government? You put the government in place. They are your representatives. Don't destroy your own country while you're thinking that you're trying to save it from these immigrants. Reminds me of the words of John F. Kennedy in his inaugural speech years ago. He said, those who foolishly want to claim power by riding the tiger inside. I hope you understand what that means. A mob is difficult to control. A mob is as bad as fire. A mob is as bad. There are three terrible forces in the world that are difficult to control. One is flood. The other is fire. The third one is a mob. A human mob. They get out of control. Any of these three can destroy a whole city, destroy a whole country. And they always start from a point. Unintended. Always unintended. So, it's easy to support the reason why the immigrants must go. It's easy to support it. All kinds of reasons can be advanced. And I'm not here to discuss whether the reasons are good or not good. I'm telling you, there's a process. There's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. Jungle justice is not okay.
Yes, sir.
It's not okay.
Yes, sir.
Even when you catch a thief, you don't start beating him and injuring him, and you don't have to kill him there. Take him to the law.
Yes, sir.
That's what you do in a lawful society. And I'm saying, you in South Africa, prove yourself to be educated, distinguished, wise, and understanding.
Yes, sir.
Show yourself to be excellent.
Yes.
That's what you have to do.